Good afternoon, kids. Welcome to the part 2 of this review session with me, Miss Davy. So this review session is covering all the concepts that we have discussed during the first quarter, and this includes the respiratory and circulatory systems, all of the parts, the structures, and also the functions of the parts and structures, as well as the pathway of both blood and air. And this also includes the different diseases of both the cardiovascular and the pulmonary systems. As I've mentioned earlier, this is just a continuation. So we are going to have the same mechanics. There are 25 multiple choice questions and you are given 30 seconds to answer each question. May I just ask every student if you can just type your answers in the comment section so you can interact with me as you play this video along. And also, just a reminder, as much as possible, do not open your notebooks or books while you are answering the questions so as to really assess whether or not you have understood the concepts that we have discussed. We shall begin now. Again, this is a multiple choice question. There are 25 questions all in all. So all you have to do is to choose the letter of the best answer. This is part 2. Question number 1. All of the following are structural adaptations of man's respiratory system except A. The vocal cords, B. Coughing reflex, C. The incomplete rings of cartilage surrounding the trachea, or D. The mucous membrane and hairs inside the nasal cavities. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Alright, this type of multiple choice question is kind of confusing if you are not going to understand and analyze what is being asked. So here, all of the following are structural adaptations, meaning all of the given answers are structural adaptations except for one. That's why you have the word except here. So we are looking for that one option that is not a structural adaptation of the respiratory system. So what would that be? So we all know that the vocal cords is part of your larynx. This is inside your larynx. B, the coughing reflex. This is what your body do whenever the food or liquid comes inside your air pathway or yung daanan ng hangin. C, the incomplete rings of cartilage. The incomplete rings makes sure that your trachea won't collapse. And the mucous membrane and hairs inside the nasal cavities, these are inside your nasal cavities because it will filter and moisten the air that you breathe in. So based on that answers or explanations, what would be the correct answer? It is letter A, or the vocal cords. Okay, let's go to question number 2. Circulatory system works to transport blood, carrying gases and nutrients to the different parts of the body. It works in 2 ways. 1, pulmonary circulation. It moves blood between the heart and the lungs. It transports the oxygenated blood to the lungs to absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide. The oxygenated blood then flows back to the heart via the systemic circulation, moves blood between the heart and the rest of the body. It sends oxygenated blood out to the cells and returns deoxygenated blood to the heart. How can we illustrate the stated information about the pulmonary and systemic circulation? So you have here the choices. So the choices are in the form of a diagram. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so you have to add up all the information that you have learned about the heart in this kind of question. So first things first, as you can see here, we have the right side and the left side of the heart. So you have to choose which options says the correct one. So the right side of the heart, again, involves the oxygenated blood or the blood with carbon dioxide. And the left side of the heart involves oxygenated blood or the blood with oxygen. So based on these four options, we can already know what to eliminate. So C and D is wrong since the oxygenated blood here in C and D is on the right side while the deoxygenated blood is on the left side. So these C and D options are wrong. So it leaves us with A and B. Now we have to analyze the diagram so that you will know which one is correct. So is it letter A? So it says here from the body parts, the deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs and then the lungs will move the deoxygenated blood to the heart. Okay, that's the first one. And then the heart will move the oxygenated blood to the lungs, and the lungs will move that oxygenated blood to the body part. Is that correct? Let's move now to option letter B. The deoxygenated blood from the body parts is moved towards the heart, and from the heart, it is moved to the lungs. From the lungs, it goes back to the heart. The oxygenated blood goes back to the heart, and from the heart, it is now pushed out to the different parts of the body. So which one is correct? Is it option A or B? Okay, correct. That is option B, right? Next question, question number 3. Which of the following shows the correct pathway of oxygen into the lungs? Is it A, nose to pharynx to larynx to trachea to bronchus to bronchiole to alveolus? B, nose to bronchus to bronchioles, trachea to larynx to pharynx to alveolus? C, mouth to larynx to pharynx alveolus to bronchus to bronchiole to trachea? Or D, mouth to trachea to bronchiole to alveolus to pharynx to bronchus to larynx? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so again, we can use elimination method so that it would be easier for us to identify the correct answer. So what options can we eliminate or remove? So knowing the respiratory tract, we do not involve the mouth. Why? Because it is better to always breathe in using your nose and not your mouth. So most of the time, if we do not have colds or coughs naman, we use our nose to breathe in air. So we can eliminate or remove option C and D. Now, this leaves us with A and B. So let's check which of these two is the correct answer. So let's check option A. Says here the air flows from your nose to your pharynx, to your larynx, to your trachea, bronchus, bronchiole, alveolus. This one, letter B, option B, nose, bronchus. So we can now identify the correct answer. So B is wrong because from the nose, it doesn't pass the air directly to the bronchus because bronchus is already in the lungs. So the correct answer to this one is letter A, nose to pharynx, to larynx, to trachea, to bronchus, to bronchiole, then finally to the alveolus. Question number 4. Cigarette smoking harms nearly every organ in the body, causing many illnesses and affecting health in general. The following are negative effects of smoking in the circulatory system, except A. Atherosclerosis, B. Tuberculosis, C. Coronary heart disease, and D. Increased heart rate and blood pressure. Please key in your answer in the comment section. All right, so there is that word again, except. So meaning all of the answers are correct. All of the answer is the best option except for one. Okay, so what we are looking here is the negative effect of smoking in the circulatory system. So what can we eliminate here are the options C and D, because both of these options are actually the diseases of the circulatory system, and these are the effects of cigarette smoking, the coronary heart disease, and the increased heart rate and blood pressure. So that leaves us with A and B. So A, atherosclerosis, is also a disease of circulatory system, while B, tuberculosis, is a disease of the respiratory system. So what we're looking at is the effect of smoking in the circulatory system. So the answer is very obvious. The answer to this one is B, tuberculosis. Question number 5. Circulatory system's main function is to transport gases and nutrients to the different parts of the body. All of the following structures are component of the circulatory system except A. Blood, B. Heart, C. Lungs, D. Blood vessels. Please key in your answer in the comment section. This is an easy question, so all you have to do is to recall the structures involved in the circulatory system, and we have the blood, the heart, and the blood vessels. So the answer to this one is the lungs, because the lungs is part of the respiratory system. Question number 6. What is being described in this situation? It can happen if a blood vessel that supplies blood to the brain either becomes blocked by a blood clot or burst. A. Atherosclerosis, B. Hypertension, C. Pneumonia, D. Stroke. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so let us have the elimination method. So this question is actually a disease of the circulatory system. So among these 4 options, we can now eliminate letter C, pneumonia, because pneumonia is a disease of the respiratory system. Now, that leaves us with 3 options, A, B, and D. Now, atherosclerosis is the fatty build up in your arteries. So there is a blockage because of the fatty build up. B, hypertension. Hypertension is the increase in the blood pressure. And D, stroke, which actually is the blockage of the blood supply in the brain. So the answer to this one is letter D, stroke. Question number 7. Arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart. Veins carry deoxygenated blood towards the heart. Is it A, the first statement is correct? the second statement is incorrect. B, the first statement is incorrect, the second statement is correct. C, both statements are correct. Or D, both statements are incorrect. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, to answer this kind of question, you have to analyze each of the statements separately. So how we have here statement number 1, which is arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. And we have statement number 2, veins carry deoxygenated blood towards the heart. So all you have to do is to ask yourself whether these statements are true or false. Yeah, arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Is that true? Yes, that is true because arteries carry this blood away from the heart so that it can pass it on through the different systems of the body. Now, veins carry the oxygenated blood towards the heart. Is that true? Yes, veins carry carbon-rich blood or carbon dioxide-rich blood towards the heart so it can be replaced with oxygen in the lungs. So the correct answer to this one is both statements are correct. Question number 8. The left atrium receives oxygen-poor blood. The right atrium receives oxygen-rich blood. Is it A, the first statement is correct? The second statement is incorrect. B, the first statement is incorrect. The second statement is correct. C, both statements are correct. Or D, both statements are incorrect. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so this is a series of like 4 questions that you have to analyze each of the statements separately. So the first one here, statement number 1, the left atrium receives oxygen for blood. Is that true? Remember, the right side of the heart receives oxygen poor blood or carbon dioxide rich blood, and the left side of the heart receives the oxygen rich blood or the blood with oxygen. So the first statement is incorrect because it says here left atrium oxygen poor blood. And then second statement, right atrium oxygen rich blood. So both of these statements are incorrect. The correct answer is letter D. Question number 9. The largest artery in the body is called the atrium. The largest veins are the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. A, the first statement is correct. The second statement is incorrect. B, the first statement is incorrect. The second statement is correct. C, both statements are correct. Or D, both statements are incorrect. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so let's check the first statement. The largest artery in the body is called atrium. Is this true or not? What do we call the largest artery in our body? We call that one as the aorta. And then the second statement says the largest veins are the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. Is this true? Yes, this is true. So the answer to this one is letter B. The first statement is incorrect. The second statement is correct. Question number 10. Leukocytes are body's defense involved in counteracting foreign substances and diseases. Erythrocytes are involved in blood clotting. Is it A, the first statement is correct, the second statement is incorrect? B, the first statement is incorrect, the second statement is correct? C, both statements are correct? Or D, both statements are incorrect? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so the first statement says here, leukocytes are body's defense involved in the counteracting foreign substances and diseases. Is this statement correct? Yes, this is true. Second statement, erythrocytes are involved in blood clotting. Is this true? This is incorrect because it is the thrombocytes that are involved in blood clotting. So this means that the first statement is correct. The second statement is incorrect. The answer is letter A. Question number 11. What is being described in this situation? The elevation of blood pressure in the vessels gets too high that it can trigger other diseases. A, anemia. B, heart attack. C, hypertension. Or D, bronchitis. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so we are looking for a disease in the circulatory system. So what can we eliminate or remove from the options? It should be letter D. We can remove bronchitis because bronchitis is a disease of the respiratory system. So that leaves us with anemia, heart attack, and hypertension. So anemia is the lack of hemoglobin in the blood. And then heart attack, you know what heart attack is. And then C, hypertension, is the elevation of the blood pressure. So the answer to this one is letter C, hypertension. Question number 12. Choose the correct pathway of carbon dioxide as it is expelled from our body. Is it A, alveolus to bronchioles to bronchi to trachea to pharynx to larynx to nasal cavities? B, alveolus to bronchi to trachea to bronchioles to larynx to pharynx to nasal cavities? C, alveolus to trachea to pharynx to bronchi to bronchioles to larynx to nasal cavities? Or D, alveolus to bronchioles to bronchi to trachea to larynx to pharynx to nasal cavities? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, let us find the options that we can remove here. So we all know that when we expel carbon dioxide, it would start from the alveolus. So all of the options here starts from the alveolus and it would end in your nasal cavities. So all of the options also ends with the nasal cavities. Now let's look at the second part. So alveolus and then bronchioles. Okay, that would be correct. Alveolus bronchi, that is wrong. Alveolus trachea, that is also wrong. And then alveolus bronchioles, this is correct. So that means we can eliminate letters B and C because they are both wrong. Let us move to the third part. So option A, alveolus bronchioles bronchi, that is correct. Letter D, alveolus bronchioles bronchi, that is also correct. Move to the fourth part. Trachea. This one, trachea also, that is also correct. Next, in option A, the next part is your pharynx. And option D is your larynx. So which one is correct? After the trachea, when you are expelling the carbon dioxide, it should be the larynx first. Okay? So larynx, pharynx, then finally to the nasal cavity. So the correct answer is letter D. Question number 13. The alveoli have a structure specialized for efficient exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide because of the following reasons, except A, the walls of alveoli are extremely thick. B, they are surrounded by numerous capillaries. C, they are fluid-lined, enabling gases to dissolve. Or D, they have a large surface area in relation to volume. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so there it goes again, the word except. So all of the answers are correct except for one. In this question, it is asking about alveoli having a structure specialized for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So three of the options are the structure specialization of the alveoli except for one. So what would that be? So is it A, the walls of alveoli are extremely thick? Remember, the alveoli is just one cell thick. The walls of the alveoli is super thin. It's the thinnest among the three types of blood vessels. B, they are surrounded by numerous capillaries. That is true. C, they are fluid-lined, enabling gases to dissolve. That is also correct. And D, they have a large surface area in relation to the volume. That is also correct. So the answer to this one, which is not part of the structure specialization of the alveoli, is A. The walls of the alveoli are extremely thick. Question number 14. Which of the following statements best describes what happens to the chest cavity and diaphragm when you breathe in? A. The chest cavity moves up while the diaphragm moves down and relaxes. B. The chest cavity moves down while the diaphragm moves up and relaxes. C. The chest cavity moves up while the diaphragm moves down and contracts. Or D. The chest cavity moves down while the diaphragm moves up and contracts. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so let us recall your mechanism of breathing. So what happens when you breathe in or inhale? When you inhale, your chest cavity actually moves up. So let us try to find the options which has the word moves up to the chest with the chest cavity. So it's letter A and letter C. So we can now eliminate letter B and D because it says here they move down. So that is incorrect. So one of the options from A and C would be the correct answer. So let us check letter A. The chest cavity moves up while the diaphragm moves down and relaxes. So when your chest cavity moves up, the diaphragm actually moves down, but it contracts, not relaxes. So the correct answer to this one is letter C. The chest cavity moves up while the diaphragm moves down and contracts. Question number 15. What is being described in the situation? It makes the arteries hard, caused by consumption of the fatty diet that leaves fat deposits on the lining of the blood vessels. A. Atherosclerosis. B. Hypertension. C. Pneumonia. D. Stroke. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so this question number 14, we are looking for a circulatory system disease. So we can now eliminate letter C, pneumonia, because this is a disease of the respiratory system. So that leaves us with atherosclerosis, hypertension, and stroke. But a while ago, we already answered that stroke is when there is a blockage or a clot or a burst in the blood supply in the brain. So that leaves us with A and B. A, atherosclerosis, is when there is a fatty deposit and there is a blockage in your arteries because of your fatty diet. Hypertension, on the other hand, is when there is the increase or elevation in the blood pressure. So the correct answer is letter A, atherosclerosis. Question number 16. Which structure of the heart prevents the mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood? A. Aorta, B. Septum, C. Tricuspid valve, or D. Superior vena cava. Please key in your answer in the comment section. This is an easy question. So the structure of the heart that prevents the mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is none other than the septum. Question number 17. Which of the following statements are true about the relationship of pressure, volume, and temperature during respiration? Is it A, as the temperature decreases, the volume decreases, and the pressure increases, causing the air to flow outside the lungs? B, as the temperature increases, the volume decreases, and the pressure decreases, allowing the air to flow inside the lungs? C, as the temperature decreases, the volume increases, and the pressure decreases, allowing the air to move inside the lungs? Or D, as the temperature increases, the volume increases, and the pressure also increases, allowing the air to move inside the lungs? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Alright, so this question is all about the mechanism of breathing. So before we go over the different options, let us first recall the concept of the relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. Remember, temperature and volume is directly proportional with one another, meaning when temperature increases, the volume also increases. When the temperature decreases, the volume also decreases. Now, this is different when it comes to the relationship of volume and pressure. When volume increases, the pressure decreases. And when the volume decreases, the pressure increases. That's why the relationship between pressure and volume is said to be indirectly proportional. So let us go over the different options. Let's start with letter A. As the temperature decreases, the volume decreases, and the pressure increases, causing the air to flow outside the lungs. A might be correct because temperature and volume is directly proportional, meaning both of them decreases, and then pressure here increases. So this might be correct kasi we have to analyze the last part of the statement, either the air flows inside or outside the lungs. B, let's check if this is correct. As the temperature increases, the volume decreases. So this is wrong. Because, again, temperature and volume is directly proportional. So, dapat kung temperature nag-increase, the volume also increases. So, we can eliminate option letter B. Option C, as the temperature decreases, the volume increases. So, this is wrong because the temperature decreases and volume increases. This is not directly proportional. So it should be the temperature decreases, the volume decreases also. Again, they are directly proportional to one another. So when whatever happens to temperature, that also happens to your volume. So that leaves us with letter A and letter D. So let's check letter D. As the temperature increases, the volume increases and the pressure also increases, allowing the air to move inside the lungs. So I think you know the answer to this one. The answer is letter A. Why? Because letter D says here, they all increase. Remember, the volume and pressure is indirectly proportional. So when the volume increases, the pressure should decrease. So the answer is letter A. Question number 18. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, is a term used to describe progressive lung diseases mainly caused by cigarette smoking. Which of the following diseases is not associated with COPD? A. Chronic bronchitis, B. Emphysema, C. Laryngitis, or D. Refractory asthma. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, this question is really easy. So let us first identify the options that we can eliminate. So we are looking for the following diseases not associated with COPD. So again, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease has something to do with cigarette smoking. So these are the effects of cigarette smoking. So we can eliminate letter A, chronic bronchitis, because the word chronic is there and COPD is a chronic disease. So we can eliminate letter A. And emphysema is also a COPD because this is an effect or a disease caused by cigarette smoking. Okay, emphysema, by the way, is the swelling or the shrinking of your alveoli. So that leaves us with the laryngitis and refractory asthma. So which of these two is caused by the cigarette smoking? That is the refractory asthma. So which is not associated with COPD is letter C, laryngitis. Use the image on the left side to analyze and answer question number 19. Complete the sequence of blood flow. Which structure pertains to letter F? Blood from the body enters the heart through the two large veins, superior and inferior vena cava, into A. Blood then moves into the B and is finally pushed into the lungs through the E. The blood then picks up oxygen in the lungs and travels back to the heart and enters C through the F. Blood then moves to D and exits the body through the aorta. Is it A, left atrium, B, pulmonary artery, C, pulmonary vein, or D, right ventricle? You may answer or key in your answer in the comment section. in order to answer this question, you have to supply all the missing pieces here in this paragraph. So let us try and answer this. Blood from the body enters the heart through the two large veins, superior and inferior vena cava, into A, meaning the blood or the deoxygenated blood from the body will enter the heart through these two large veins, the superior, inferior, and vena cava, and then it will be passed into A. What is A? This is the right atrium. Blood then moves into the B. So after the blood is pushed into the right atrium, it will now be passed on to your B, which is the right ventricle. And it's finally pushed into the lungs through the blank. So what is this letter E? How will the blood go to your lungs? It will have to pass through the pulmonary artery. Okay? The blood then picks up oxygen in the lungs and travels back to the heart and enters, see, this is your left atrium, through the F. How will it get to your left atrium? Through your pulmonary vein. Blood then moves to your left ventricle and exits the body through the aorta. So that the correct answer to this one is pulmonary vein. Question number 20. Which of the following statements are true about the lungs? 1. The right lung has 2 lobes, while the left lung has 3 lobes. 2. The left lung has 2 lobes, while the right lung has 3 lobes. 3. The right lung is slightly smaller than the left lung to give space to the heart. And 4. The left lung is slightly smaller than the right lung to give space to the heart. Is it A, 1 only, B, 3 only, C, 1 and 3, or D, 2 and 4? Kindly key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so this question shows two concepts about the lungs. First is the lobes, or the number of lobes, and second one is the size. So let us check which one of 1 and 2 is correct. The right lung has 2 lobes while the left lung has 3 lobes, or the left lung has 2 lobes while the right lung has 3 lobes. So remember, your right lung has 3 lobes and the left lung has 2 lobes. Now, let us move on to 3 and 4. Which is smaller and which is bigger? So remember, your right lung is bigger than the left lung. So the left lung should be smaller so that it can give space to the heart. So with these concepts, we can now find out the correct answer, and the correct answer is letter D, 2 and 4. Question number 21. Complete the sentence. When inhaling, our diaphragm blank, causing our chest cavity to blank. Is it A, contracts, expands, B, relaxes, compress, C, relaxes, expands, or D, contracts, compress? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, let us recall your mechanism of breathing. So when you inhale, your chest cavity goes up and your diaphragm goes down. Your diaphragm contracts while your chest cavity expands. Okay, when you exhale, your diaphragm moves up and it relaxes while your chest cavity expands. So the correct answer to this one is letter A, contracts, expands. Question number 22. Oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules move into the body and into the alveoli where they are exchanged is accomplished by blank. Is it A, endocytosis, B, exocytosis, C, diffusion, or D, osmosis? Okay, so how do molecules of oxygen and carbon dioxide are moved into our alveoli? The only process that is involved in the movement of these particles is what we call C diffusion. Question number 23. Which of the following shows the correct pathway of oxygen from the lungs into the body tissues? A. Alveoli to bloodstream to red blood cells to tissues. B. Alveoli to red blood cells to bloodstream to tissues. C. Red blood cells to alveoli to bloodstream to tissues. Or D. Red blood cells to bloodstream to alveoli to tissues. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so this question is about how is the oxygen from the lungs is transferred to your body tissues. So we can use elimination method to identify the correct answer. So the first structure that is involved in the transferring of the oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues is of course the alveoli. So looking at the options here, we can now remove or eliminate option C and D since it all starts with the red blood cells. So again, the alveoli will now pass the oxygen is either to your bloodstream or to your red blood cells. So it would be to your bloodstream and then to your red blood cells, then finally to your tissues. So it's letter A. Question number 24. When human breathes, the air enters the body and travels to the lungs through which of the following parts? Is it A, the nose and the larynx, B, the nose and the trachea, C, the mouth and the trachea, or D, the mouth and the esophagus? Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so let's do elimination method. Again, we have to use the respiratory tract structures, and this involves the nose and not the mouth. We can now eliminate C and D. So which one is correct? The nose and the larynx or the nose and the trachea? So the correct answer is the nose and the trachea. Although the larynx is also part of the respiratory tract, the trachea is the one that is connected to your lungs. So, directly connected to your lungs. So, the answer is letter B. Question number 25. Which of the following statements about the human respiratory system is false? A. The bronchioles branch into bronchi. B. Alveolar ducts connect to alveolar sacs. C. When we breathe in, the air travels from the pharynx to the trachea. Or D. Gas exchange between the lungs and blood takes place in the alveolus. Please key in your answer in the comment section. Okay, so we can use elimination method. So we can eliminate which one? Gas exchange between the lungs and blood takes place in the alveolus. This is correct. When we breathe in, air travels from the pharynx to the trachea. This is also correct. So we can eliminate C and D. So that leaves us to options A and B. So which one of these two is correct? The bronchioles branch into bronchi. Is that correct? Is that true? Of course not. It should be the bronchi branch into bronchioles. So, nagkapalit lang. So letter B is true. So what we are looking for is the false statement. So the correct answer is letter A. And that ends the part 2 of this review session with me, Miss Davy. So thank you so much for watching this video and also for interacting and participating. So if you like this video, don't forget to click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, just click the subscribe button so that you can be updated on the videos that I post here in my channel. Again, this is Miss Davy, hoping that you will get good scores in your exam this coming week. Have a great weekend ahead and God bless you all.